Game 3, win or lose, win or go home. What kind of seed do you want to see from this race?
I want to see. I mean, I know everyone always wants to see a pedestal seed. I'm not necessarily into the pedestal seed, but I want to see something tricky. Not necessarily trolly, but tricky. And I want to see a double dip into a pendant dungeon, maybe. I might be trolly, but I want to see something that's going to test the skill of our players out to like the nth degree. I want to see it.
That is always a good way. Really, I test our routing as well as so their logic, but as well as their execution. Always
Exactly.
a good thing. So, and they both did decide to start off with the same route and found a heart piece or a heart container in the house, and then a piece of heart on the uncle. So, nothing too exciting yet.
We've got some love and a lot of love already. So,
yeah, and a bomb upgrade. So this is not an exciting route, but looks like they'll probably be setting up the tree pole after this, and maybe not.
Well, we got arrows from the first tree pole already. I believe that was the one you got from killing an enemy. So, well, that might have been taking damage. I'm not sure which one they did.
I don't think fylion took any damage, and he killed one enemy. So that, I believe, is for that one. And just 50 rupees, which is really nice because that guarantees that they will not have to farm for bombs if they do not find any.
Correct. But that might mean they're a little short on money to pay the bottle vendor. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, there's always those gambles inside of Blind's Hut or the Well where you hope you find bombs and not have to go back in there later. So we'll see what happens. But first, they're going to make the traditional route up through the north of the forest, as Kia does their tree pole.
So, kind of going off the same question you asked. Oh, look at that 8 bomb drop. Nicely done. That's a nice find right there.
That is very good for fylion, as the bush crab has a full magic refill. That'll be very nice going down later on.
Absolutely. Okay. Anxiety ledge, nothing there. Whew.
And that tree pole for fylion was amazing. He had half a heart left, and it dropped all the hearts for him. So that is super lucky for him. Doesn't have to worry about health at this point.
Gotta love it when the randomizer does give you the thing you need right then.
It's amazing.
So when do you think we're actually going to find a sword? We're 2 minutes in, so we're not that deep into the race so far. Sword coming when, you think?
I'm going to guess not necessarily a time, but a location. I'm going to guess that it's going to be the first sword we see is on the library. Won't have access because we won't have boots yet. Well, it'll be interesting to see if they go back for that, depending on how the other swords turn out. The first sword we get, I'm going to say Agina's Cave.
Ooh, there you go. Yes, so Agina's Cave, the cave that's rarely ever checked, like, in an early fashion.
Yes. What do you think what time or where do you think we'll find the first one?
I think it's going to be Mini Moldorm Cave.
That's not a bad place.
I think we're going to have to use bombs to kill everyone in the Mini Moldorm Cave to get the sword.
That is always trolling. And Kia is taking a little gamble here. Hopefully finding some bombs down here so they don't have to come back into Blind's Hut. They did. Ooh, power gloves.
Nicely found. Power gloves is cool. I love how that cat boo thing is just like going up and down, like it's like it's actually walking someplace.
Yeah, it's kind of bobbing as it goes and does not find any bombs, so they will have to return there later. They did find 300 rupees in the thieves drop, so that is a very nice pickup. That guarantees they have money for a vendor as well as bomb purchase.
Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, the vendor had a shovel.
All right.
That's interesting. So
fetch quests are always fun.
Well, I think that means because both runners will get that. So I think that means instead of saving and quitting after checking the race game, they'll probably just go right over that direction.
Oh yeah, totally. That's really good routing, and then just head on into the South Kakariko or South Hyrule from there. Maybe save and quit after there because that would still be faster. Right. But yeah, so nothing that Kia missed behind the wall in Blind Set, but he will have to go back and check that.
Absolutely. Well, he'll go back and check it. Unfortunately for him, it's going to be an utter waste of time since we know it's a red rupee right now. And of course, there's bombs behind the bomb wall. Why is there always bombs behind the bomb wall?
That is so common. It is so common.
Every time. You have bombs locked behind bombs. Oh, hey, it's Lord Banana. We found the blue boomerang, everybody.
And that is nice. Oh, and there's the sword. So we are both wrong with the sword. First one in the well. They have a fighter sword. I was just about to say the blue boomerang will be really nice heading down where they don't have a weapon. They can stun enemies, but now they have a sword.
There you go.
So that is a pretty quick sword. 5 minutes in and they have a sword. That is nice. Always nice, but the open, not having that sword, you never know how you're going to be able to kill enemies. You don't know if you're going to have to really conserve your bombs or how well you're going to have to use them. So really nice to find that.
You know, even after finding the sword, though, because it's just that level 1 sword, I always really like to find the hammer early. You know, because then you have like an actual weapon that will kill things.
Yeah, for sure. Small hitbox, but
small hitbox, yes, absolutely. But yeah, it has it's tempered sword damage, if I remember correctly.
I believe that you are correct. Yep, a tempered sword damage. So that definitely is a much significant increase in damage. And the fighter sword does not have much of a reach either. So it's really not a bad choice to go with the hammer in a lot of fights when you're hitting enemies.
Alrighty. So, again, I'm gonna guess both of our runners do go check the dig spot immediately if they remember they have the shuffle. Because I really don't think you're ever going to be in a better place to route that into your route, except like right now. Other than having the mirror and then visiting Mr. Stumpy, but like, you know, outside of that.
Yeah, and you never know when you're gonna get the mirror and if that would be even something that you could possibly do. So finding nothing in the library, just a bomb upgrade and then just an arrow upgrade on the race game. So we will never see our runners go over there. And fylion is definitely checking that shovel. Great call. Like you said, it's the best routing. And we got a map check from Kia.
Wait. I missed it again.
I believe it was just Crystal 2 and 4 maybe. 2 in Hera, 4 in Desert Palace, and I think it was the blue pendant in Eastern. So none of the important ones.
Gotcha.
And the dig spot just had 20 rupees, so nothing exciting there. And looks like fylion is going to head to the rest of Escape.
Good old fake breadcrumbs, as we like to call them.
Yes. I love those breadcrumbs.
Get that shovel early, and then oops.
Yep.
So fylion is going to go up into do the, as you said, the rest of Escape here. Where is Kia going to go? Oh, he's probably going to go check the back of Escape.
Yeah, I just saw that right as you point that out. Very good decision. Both of them making good decisions. I like going both ways. We'll be able to see a lot of different items here from Kia, especially with 3 right in a row, and then fylion will also have 3 possible items.
Yep. I'm gonna get to see if who actually finds the key in the map.
Oh, Moon Pearl!
Okay, we got a Moon Pearl, and there's our key. I wonder if Kia's gonna... Nope, he's not. Okay.
So we're still waiting on the map. That could definitely be in the dark room at this point. We don't know if it is there. If it is, if they find all the items, that is one of the best things. Not even have to worry about that, especially where they don't have the lantern yet. Absolutely. And even if they did, it's so out of the way to go to for one item.
Yeah. Especially if the game is deciding not to give you the lamp until like way later.
Yeah. Oh, there's the map.
Okay, so we know that does have an item now.
Yes, it will. Now, is it an important item? I've seen it hook shot for required swamp. It is, that's a required item regardless, unless you can hover.
Yeah. I've seen medallions for, like, you know, either Turtle Rock or Misery Mire in there. I mean, and I've seen a whole lot of junk items. So,
yep.
just like Randomizer is, it's completely random. Shocking, right?
Shocking. Exactly. And fylion got another 8 bomb drop, by the way. That's 2 of them.
That's uncalled for. That's amazing. Lots of explosives for fylion. Nothing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the prison chest having absolutely nothing of value in it.
Yeah. So the value in Escape so far, we don't know what's in the dark rooms, but the value was in the Moon Pearl in the back, which fylion is heading to right now. Kia will find there a whole bunch of nothing and also get that information that dark rooms will have an item.
Yep. Got another map check there. Again, just lots of blue on that map.
Yeah, no red or green. Those are the ones that we want to see.
All right. So that we've got 2 pendant dungeons in the Dark World, so I guess we just start randomly guessing at which those could be.
Yeah, and now one of them's green. One of the ones that I hate seeing is the green pendant, is Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, oh, what's gonna be there? Like, is this gonna be a required dip? Or I hate it. Because if it's one of the other ones, you're like, okay, maybe I don't have to worry about it as much.
Right. I, for some odd reason, seem to get a lot of green pendant ice palaces, so... Oh,
That is also one I don't like, pendant ice palace.
fylion is actually going into the dark room under the sewer here.
Yeah, a little sequence break by fylion, but taking care of that knowledge of whether or not this is going to be an important item or not. So I like to play. If you feel comfortable with this dark room, go for it. I am not comfortable with it.
Kia killing himself here to do a death warp. I wonder if he's just going to take on the sewer in the opposite direction. It looks like he is.
That is what Kia's doing. You know, I mean, maybe you're more comfortable going this way, especially if you played before Open became the tournament, where it was usually ran in standard. This is a more comfortable route possibly for him.
Well, not only that, but like, if you go the direction fylion did, you actually have to you have to kill the one rat and find the key in the complete darkness. Whereas here, you just gotta find your correct direction. So,
that is also a good point.
So our viewers right now are viewing the the same chest in 2 different directions, and of course we see the exact same thing, which is a big black screen of nothing, except a few little glints here and there.
Yeah, a little shining enemy. And it's just triple bombs. Oh man!
All that work for basically nothing.
Oh, that is.
I think fylion had max bombs at that point already. Maybe only at 12. Yep. I don't remember.
Yeah, they are both now at max. But the nice thing about that knowledge is taken care of. They do not have to worry about that chest ever again.
No, absolutely. I'm not saying it was a bad decision, just an unfortunate outcome.
Yes, it is a terrible outcome. It's not what you want to see, especially spending all that time. But not in a game like a randomizer, knowledge is half of the battle. So that is nice to have.
Absolutely, and more bombs. Okay, so apparently we found all of our bombs that weren't in the village or just out and about everywhere else around the village.
Yeah. It's not doing them any good right now, where they are capped on their bombs. So that's not helping any right now.
Right. So you know what's going to happen underneath the water here is going to be a bomb upgrade because we've got the bombs already.
That would be hilarious. Just 20 rupees.
I mean, it's about as worth the same, right? Although fylion picking it up probably because he's really close to 500. My guess is if he finds any rupees at all inside the mini Moldorm cave, he's going to pull off a fake flipper glitch and head up towards Zora.
Yeah, and Kia picking it up too, just 100 rupees away, 102 to be exact. So not a bad idea. Like you said, they are so close to that 500. This would not be a bad timing to set up for the fake Zora. Especially, and they do have the Moon Pearl, so they can get the waterfall chest.
Absolutely. It's like the best time to do the fake flipper glitch. Unless we happen to find the flippers in here, which is an actual possibility.
Yeah, and we get our first shield. Oh, the Master Sword.
Hey, I was right. We had a sword. We had a sword in here and Titan's Mitts. Oh, hey, there's money.
Wow, okay, so you did call it. You had a sword upgrade or a sword in here. Wow.
So we now have Dark World access.
Yes, we do. Those Titan's Mitts. Wow, that's...
We don't have full Dark World access. We still can't access the Pyramid or Palace of Darkness.
Yep, just missing the hammer.
Yes, missing that hammer. And of course, if the hammer is in, say it's in Palace of Darkness or on the Pyramid, that means Aghanim is still going to be required unless we find the flippers.
Yes.
We need the flippers or the hammer. And both of them in Palace of Darkness for all we know.
I've seen them both in there.
Yep.
And hammer in Palace of Darkness is always trolly.
Absolutely.
Anytime you find a vanilla item in that dungeon, it's just... that's one of the trolliest things that can happen in a randomizer.
I think the race that was on just before this one started, the hammer was in its actual vanilla chest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
Absolutely. So fylion actually leaving and saving and quitting, so he must have decided against whatever he was planning on doing at that point.
I think I was gonna agree that doing the fake flippers was the right call, but I think getting those Titans mitts that opens up
Yeah.
so much Dark World. No need to sequence break at this point. Head to the
Yeah.
Dark World. You have a lot of places to check. I think this is the right call, but it looks like Kia is still gonna go with that fake flipper idea. So not a bad idea in its own right.
Well, and if he finds the hammer up there like that, then he's confirmed that he doesn't need to defeat Aghanim and can go do whatever he wants to.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Or if he finds absolutely nothing up there, then oh right, we can also check the island and Hobo too. The island, of course, having just nothing of any
Nothing.
inside, of course. Oh, all right. Our red crystals are Misery Mire and Swamp. Our pendants are Thieves Town and Skullwoods.
Oh man. And the green pendant being Skull Woods. I have seen so many times where Mothula has had the green pendant, which led to an important item on Sahashala.
Well, the worst thing about this is the moment you get into the dark room, you can the dark world, you can immediately access like the front half of Skullwoods and basically everything in Thieves Town, save for the big chest if you don't have the hammer. So, in other words, what we have just told these runners is, yes, the 2 dungeons you have access to right now are both pendant dungeons.
that is so rude. We picked up a Quake. So that's the Quake is one of the 2 items in Skull Woods, so which we do not know if that is a required item yet. We don't know which medallions are, but we do know that we will need at least 1 medallion because Turok and Misery Mire are a crystal, which we might even need 2.
Absolutely. So there's the map in here. So it's got, I believe, 1 more chest to check. Unless he finds the big key, it'll be 2. Nothing in the waterfall cave. Well, I mean, there was a big heart container, but still.
Which is nice early on. Green Mel, that it just gives the 5th heart. So not a terrible thing, but yeah, not what you're wanting. Right now you're wanting some progression items.
Absolutely. Another heart container on Zora's Ledge. So this will be the last time Kia comes here.
Which, without the flippers, that is always nice knowing that you'll never have to return. It's always a small gamble, maybe having to return back to this location once you get those flippers. So it's always nice knowing that that will not be a necessity.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what Zora's selling. Oh, gosh.
The exchange rate. Oh,
doesn't
man.
Even pick it up. He doesn't even pick it up.
fylion set up the death warp and going to be warping out. Nice setup by fylion there. And yeah, Kia just kind of looked at it for a second, like, really? Oh, man, that's not cool.
No, right. So, unfortunately, the chest that fylion picked up was just a key. So there is still 1 item inside Skullwoods, locked behind the fire rod.
Yeah, that is true, and we have not got the big key, so that it could be on the big chest, which would be a troll in and of itself.
And it's the green pendant, so it's entirely possible our runners will come over here and finish it to get that green pendant and turn it in to Sahasharilla, which, by the way, I was just going to say, we haven't even checked yet, and there's Kia doing it. Finding out himself that the green pendant is in Skullwoods.
Yep, and this is our first check, which we have 10 arrows. Oh, the tempered sword! And just 20 rupees.
That tempered sword, nice. That's a nice find.
Wow, 3 sword upgrades in 18 minutes and 38 seconds. That is quick.
So, tempered, I always feel like the upgrade from Master Sword to Tempered Sword is like the best upgrade in the game. Gold Sword is great. That's a mirror!
Mirror in the sea house.
I mean, so as I was saying, Gold Sword may be great and all that, but by the time you get Tempered Sword, everything starts dying in like 1 hit.
Yeah.
So Gold Sword is great, but Tempered Sword is still amazing.
Yeah, I would say that Tempered Sword is it's not needed. It's still a nice item, but it's well more needed than the Gold Sword. Gold Sword it's a complete, just very nice item to have. It just makes everything that much easier, but that difference from Master Sword to Tempered Sword is significant, especially on Ganon. You no longer have to do spin strats.
Indeed. So Kia actually going into a pendant Eastern Palace here. Interesting choice. I I like the idea, but if there's something in here, I wonder how long it's going to take fylion to actually get over towards Eastern Palace, considering how open he's got the world right now.
Yeah, that is a good point. And we know that at the minimum, there's at least a sword over in this area, which he might be looking to route with that green pendant at this point, especially since it is just pendant Eastern. Not a bad idea for fylion, as KiAliens has not found anything yet.
Indeed. So, let's see. This is the second chest. Yep. So, our runners have found compasses within like 30 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
In case we're going to lose their way in these dungeons, because that compass is so going to help them out, let me tell you.
Yeah, and after somebody in chat, the dig spot was checked. It was just 20 rupees, so nothing exciting there.
So far, Thieves Town not really paying off.
Neither is Eastern Palace for either runner. That is both runners. And this is the last chest that Kia can check by the logic. I imagine they are comfortable with the dark room and will be able to continue on.
Oh, no! Oh, that's
yeah.
a hammer! Okay, so we know going independent Eastern Palace is required now.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy.
Man.
Oh, man. Okay, so, that's a crazy find, and what an absolutely trolly find, considering, again, that is a blue pendant Eastern Palace.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is such a nice find for Kia. That completely eliminates Aghanim being required, and he has that knowledge, which fylion does not yet. It'll be interesting, like you said earlier, it'll be interesting to see how long it takes him to head back towards Eastern Palace, being pendant.
Well, hopefully, when he goes over towards Sahasharel, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sahasharel is about Sasha, thank you. Hopefully when he goes over in that direction, he will also check Eastern Palace, since it's right there, and Eastern Palace is kind of a, it's almost a thing I think like a lot of people route in once they get over in that direction. fylion just hasn't been there yet.
Yeah, and they do have the mirror, and so they would be able to double up pod with it, especially if they find the bow early. That would be really good for fylion in the end. And
Right.
To answer somebody in chat, KiAliens found the hammer on the big chest in Eastern Palace.
Indeed, he did. Where was that mirror again?
C-shaped house.
Gotcha. Okay, I was wondering, Kia didn't have it yet, but he hasn't even been that direction yet.
Not yet. This is actually his first time in the Dark World just now, and he's going to head over to Disappointment Cave, formerly known as Hype Cave.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wonders Cave of Hype has been tempered a little bit with the updates to the logic, but that's okay. It can still have some very good items.
I mean, there's five items there. It's one of those places that no matter how disappointing it ever is, that would be terrible to ever not check. As we get our first bottle.
There it is. It's full of green stuff too.
And
okay. So that was interesting. We had a bottle and 3 pieces of heart.
We almost had a lot of love in that cave.
Almost. It was a lot of little love.
Yes, lots of little loves. And Kia has our first bottle, so we'll be able to get a sick kid check. So we'll see if retroactively Hype Cave was hype.
Exactly. Health Cave. There you go.
Yeah, Health Cave. That was definitely a Health Cave.
Finally I'm taking the purple chest back to Gary, I guess.
Yep, taking Gary's lunchbox back. A little off on his portal there. Hit the bush, had a bonk back. I missed what Stumpy had.
Piece of heart. I think. Or maybe, wait, hold on. It was a piece of heart.
So they're starting to get some love now.
Absolutely. Well, at least we're finally getting life in this, oh gosh. There you go.
Whoa, that was close.
I hate those stupid stone things.
Yeah, they're so random when they come out, and it's so annoying.
Absolutely. So Kia unfortunately find out that this digging game is not all it's cracked out to be.
And it was a lot of digs.
It was a deep digging game, too. So in case
Yeah.
you haven't seen this before, the digging game is completely 100% going to give you the item inside of it. Unlike if you play this game normally, it's a complete and utter toss-up. However, it's a random amount of digs between 1 and 30 per seed.
Yes, it is. And that was a long one. And we get the lamp off of Gary's chest.
Nice.
So that is very nice to find. That opens up all the dark rooms for fylion.
Also gives us a fire source, which means we can head up to Death Mountain in Dude Tower of Hera.
Correct. And we now have the logic way of going there. Since we have that lamp, we can go up there logically.
Correct. Finally, I'm going to check the quote-unquote hype cave. We'll probably get a health refill here, unless he has exactly on a 4th piece of heart right now.
I believe he's picked up a couple, so he might be... Oh, wait, no, he's definitely going to get it, because he's got a couple and hasn't gotten a refill in a while, so it'll be a nice refill for him.
Yep. There we go.
All right, so Kia has the hammer, which fylion did not have earlier. It'll be interesting to see if Kia finishes out Thieves Town, which fylion did not. That is a big difference, and also we'll be picking up the mirror if they had to see House, which they probably will since they have the frog, which will be a great timing for him. That is pretty magnificent.
Absolutely, yeah. We were going to see Froggy World Tour, now we're just going to see Froggy walk around the block.
Yeah, I'm sure that is a huge relief for Kia, not having to worry about save and quit. That's pretty nice.
Well, fylion is heading over towards Eastern Palace, so my guess is he's going to go jump inside there, and he'll find his hammer pretty quickly. Meanwhile, I'm going to guess Kia's, after doing this, is going to, check Peg Cave here, and then grab the purple chest, so he'll get the lamp too, so... Really, it seems like our runners are going to basically be neck and neck as far as item collection goes.
Yeah, and as far as routing for Kia, at this point, they will be able to mirror and turn in the bottle for Sick Kid, kind of take care of all of this in a much more efficient way than fylion was able to. And that's just the way routing goes sometimes.
Oh, Kia having second thoughts and going to go pick up that full heart container.
I realized I don't have quite a whole lot of health yet. Might as well pick it up.
Normally, I think most runners I see will go out of their way to pick those up until they have about 1 full row of hearts, and after that, it becomes optional.
Yeah, that is what I've seen as well. Meanwhile, fylion did pick up their Tempered Sword heading into Eastern Palace, and will pick up the hammer, and there was nothing else in Eastern, so we'll be happy to find that hammer, though.
I really like the placement of the swords because, as we've seen, both our runners within, maybe 10 minutes of each other have now got level 3 swords each. So this is no longer about, who's got, who found the better equipment to defeat Ganon. This is purely about who can use the equipment better.
Yeah, exactly. It was almost exactly 10 minutes from when Kia got their Tempered Sword to when fylion did, so pretty dang close. And that'll really leave execution the deciding factor at this point. No crazy gambles or routing has resulted in one person have a sword over the other.
Unfortunately for Kia, he did not grab the purple chest. I hope he plans to do that when he's done with this. On the positive side, however, he can completely clear Thieves Town.
And it will be interesting to see if they decide to make that decision where we did not get a whole lot of items from fylion. So now that they have the hammer, and I think that's why fylion decided not to go all the way in where it is only a pendant. They didn't have the hammer, and they gotten all dungeon items. So really not a bad idea for fylion. He knew he was going to have an item on the big chest.
Absolutely.
And to answer somebody in chat, Kia did already do the Southern Loop. They have not done the purple chest yet. I imagine that might be something they do after Thieves Town, though. Depends on what items they get in here, but it seems like it would be a pretty good decision afterwards. It'd be pretty quick, even though they do not have the flute. That always makes it really fast.
Right. So, after... If fylion just gets the hammer here, and he's going to do the same thing, except you won't need to do it in the dark, is to go over and pick the last chest up, which I believe had the map in it, unfortunately. That does mean that Armos is actually holding on to an item of some kind.
Yeah, that may make Armos Knights being a required boss. We will see. And at this point, we could still have a pedestal seed. I mean, that's something we haven't addressed yet. There's plenty of items out there.
Could absolutely. I mean, because of the pendant dungeons we have. Let's think about this for a second. With the pendant dungeons we have, the only items that we need to beat them are the bow and the fire rod, and that's it.
And the hammer.
And they've got the hammer.
Oh wait, no, we don't need the hammer. Sorry, we don't need it to beat it.
Right. But like of the items they would need to collect from this point forward, the bow and the fire rod gives them access to defeat all 3 pendant dungeons. That would make me slightly worried if I was running this seed.
Yeah, those are 3 of the dungeons that are the least item requisite dungeons, and so yeah, a lot of potential in pedestal at this point. A lot of potential, and I mean the green pendant. There's a lot of potential at this point as we get 300 rupees as another item for Kia. And we are going to be seeing a Death Mountain check for fylion, so this will be our first Death Mountain check. It'll be exciting to see what the old man has and what we have on really all of it, because we have full access to Death Mountain right now.
Indeed.
Except for Hookshot Cave, which we could very well find Hookshot up here.
All right, so let's see what the old man is handing out to Link today. Kia taking just a little bit of damage in here.
Yeah, luckily he is past some of the worst damaging areas. It's easy to avoid most of the damage at this point. There's a lot of heart refills in the cells part of this dungeon, so he should be fine.
The old man had a big heart container, so, you know, more life, always good. Kia making sure he's not going to get shot through these prison doors by just killing the red, I don't even know what those enemies are called.
Red lizards. I have no idea either. And I was mistaken. We did not see the burrito earlier, so that was the map right there. Kia does have to still go to the big chest, which they have the hammer, so not a big deal.
So if this has... Okay, that had a piece of heart in it, so... Does Blind have an item?
I believe so. I remember we found Compass at almost the exact same time while fylion was in Thieves Town earlier.
Right, okay, so he's going to go ahead and beat Blind, it looks like. I can't say I blame him either. You're here. I mean, it's not outside of mirroring out of here. I mean, you might as well beat this guy, because if you have to come back here, it's a much longer trek.
Very, very long. Which is why the way that fylion did it was not a bad decision. Before making that dive into the back half and the long half of Thieves Town, he just bailed out.
Oh no!
Oh, the fire rod in Tower of Hera.
Oh my gosh! Well, there we go. There's that. So.
And just as we were saying that it's a long trek to go down to Blind from where they're at, Kia takes the death, and because of how far away it is, just bails. I cannot blame him at all for that.
I mean, at this point, he's really not going to lose any time if he has to come back here, because he had to go retrek his way through the whole place as it stood. So he's going to go up to Skullwoods and find out the unfortunate news that the only item available to our players right now is not exactly amazing.
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing going to be from there, and we get the small key, so there's still a possibility of Basement and Tower of Hera having an item.
Yep, without the hook shot or the boots, and it doesn't look like fylion decided to use the bomb jump to the big chest, so he's just going to do it the good old-fashioned vanilla way.
Yep, a little bit slower, but safer for sure. We definitely have... Well, there's one more item.
Okay.
And is it going to be in the basement?
50-50 chance here.
That's always so frustrating having to go down there. And when it's something like a bomb capacity upgrade, it is just, you're so frustrated because it is so much time wasted.
Absolutely. Watch, it'll probably be like boots or something.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Alright, fylion taking on Troll Dorm. We know we have to come up here because of that fire rod. And I mean,
Yep.
it's a crystal dungeon anyway, so you got to beat it. But
Yeah, and I just point out this.
that's the
Cane of
Cane of Samaria! Wow, what a loaded Tower of Hera!
Okay, Tower of Hera, you had all the items, and that also eliminates Tower of Hera basement. That is a great Tower of Hera.
That was great, absolutely. So Tower of Hera had all of the really important red items, as it would appear.
Yeah.
We got the red cane and the fire rod, which is also red. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point, we don't know if boots are required. We have not made it into Desert Palace yet. And there was nothing on the library, and the cape didn't have anything, or the bump cave didn't have anything, so cape is not required.
Or the unfortunate outcome of having boots required in Ganon's tower.
Oh, yes.
And then having boots in Ganon's tower.
Oh, and that is so trolly.
So, I don't know if you caught it or not, but on the floating island is our single arrow. So we have, in fact, found the one single arrow in the game.
Yes, there we go. Interesting to note, sometimes in the chess game, you can get a single arrow as that random drop in the first item. So sometimes it's not the only one, but that's the only intentional reward.
Correct. Oh, Spiral Cave having absolutely nothing at the end of it for that massively long walk without boots.
That is such a long walk, and without boots, it's so painful. And Kia is going to be giving us some new information we have not seen above Graveyard Cliff, and they will be able... No, they don't have boots, so they cannot check King's Tomb.
But Phylion's going to be able to check all of Eastside Death Mountain, including the dark version of it. So, except he doesn't have the hookshot, so he can't get in the hookshot cave.
Yeah, that is the one place.
But up here, you can actually check to see what medallion is on Turtle Rock.
Yep, and we have Quake, so if that's Quake, then we know that Turtle Rock is accessible, and we have Cane of Samaria, so Turtle Rock is fully accessible at this point.
And the Fire Rod. We have that and the Fire Rod, which is required for that torture room, so not only can we get into it, we could get into Turtle Rock basically the entire way before we get to Laser Bridge.
Yeah. Well, we can go all the way to Trinix. Logically, we don't have anything to...
Oh, there's a hookshot!
Oh, so now we have a full clear of Death Mountain, dark and light. That is incredible. Fylion having the plays right now.
Absolutely. So he's going to go up here. My guess is he's going to go into the Dark World from the portal in Turtle Rock, so he doesn't have to rescale this mountain. He can just go and check the Super Bunny Cave chests just by walking in here. That Dark Rock was really close to trolling Fylion. He didn't, thank goodness.
So close. And we got our first bottle check, and it's just 20 rupees. The kid giving you a little bit of money for helping him out.
He stole his allowance from the kid.
I mean, you gave him some, blue-green goo in this case, It kind of helping him out.
Showed it to him.
This is true. You don't actually ever give him anything. And
it's Quake. Oh, it's the bacon coin.
So, do you go into Turtle Rock right now?
Probably.
I wouldn't. I mean, check Dark Death Mountain first, but do you check it after?
I don't know. I might. It's here. It's open. It is a crystal, so maybe not. If it was a pendant, I'd be more apt to check it now.
That is a good point.
I'm not even joking. Man. It's like it's a crystal. You know it's required. You probably can come back here probably as the last dungeon, but if it was a pendant, I don't know.
Never know when it's going to be. Oh, blue mail.
If you had the ice rod right now, I may consider actually just doing it straight up, but...
Yeah, that is a good point. If he finds ice rod here, it's almost... I think you do it. You take care of it right now.
I would think so.
And you're not even badly geared. You have blue mail now. You have tempered sword, and you get an empty bottle. So you'd be able to full clear the dungeon. I think that would be the best way. It's always nice to be able to end with Turtle Rock as your last crystal. Quick access to Ganon's tower, but you're up here. Take care of it. Get it done, and who knows what items might be in there.
Absolutely. I've only once seen the fabled last crystal Tower of Hera. into Ganon's tower.
I did that once, and it was an accident, and it ended up working out really well for me.
Nice. So we're getting an Guinness cave check here from Kia. Let's see. No, it's just explosives.
Nothing too exciting there, so we will see where they head from here. It'll be interesting. Kia still has not done the purple chest. Even though the lamp is not something that they need.
Yes, he did. He did.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yes.
I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, he did that while we were talking about the whole him of fylion going into Tournament Rock, which, by the way, he is doing.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, it was on the way to a Guinness's cave. Oh, big key. Oh, he can actually check Mimic Cave here too, so honestly he can open up all of Tournament Rock. By the logic, he can't do Laser Bridge only because he has no way of protecting himself from the lasers.
Correct. But we could always find that logic within the dungeon.
That or if he finds the boots, if he's good enough at the laser skip, he might be able to do that.
Yep, but that would be, like you said, breaking the logic. So that's not something the game would intend you to do at this point. But we'll see what fylion does.
Absolutely. So as much as we do have blue mail right now, I don't know I'd be exactly excited about the prospect of doing Tournament Rock with the amount of health I currently have. If I were fylion.
It is definitely not the most exciting thing out there, but I really don't blame him. I mean, you're up here, you have everything, you can go full clear it.
Absolutely.
Except for logically the Laser Bridge and Trinex, so it's not a bad play.
Absolutely. No, it's a good check. I mean, especially with the information he's got right now. They don't really have like a ton of items. They're looking for a lot more, and Tournament Rock has 5 unique items inside of it, so
Indeed it does, and I mean, they don't have the flippers yet, so they can't do Swamp House, which also has 6. They don't have the bow, which, since they have the hammer, not a bad play if they did go to pod, but they don't have the bow, so they can't clear pod, can't get every item out of there. So, I mean, they don't have Ice Rod either, so they don't have the ability to full clear any dungeon right now.
Except for like Skull Woods.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, they just got the Fire Rod, so yeah, that's the only thing they can full clear right now. And Thieves Town, excuse me.
Yeah, and Kia's about to pick that up, so the Fire Rod,
yes.
That is. And he could have beat Thieves Town. He died on Blind, but he's got everything else in there except the item from Blind, so hopefully that wasn't like the bow or something, you know.
Oh man, that'd be so painful. Which, I mean, they both left the dungeon in essence, so it wouldn't be terrible for Kia, but man, if that had been the bow, that would have put him at a pretty decent advantage.
The reason I think that would be just a real big problem for Kia is the likelihood that he's going to go back there anytime soon is gotta be low. Oh no! Finally, I'm taking the laser to the face just before the screen transition and taking a death in Tournament Rock.
And he's going back in. That is the worst. I hate getting hit in the middle of a screen transition. You can't control it, and oh man, that is painful. He was at least not too terribly deep, but past the chain chomp's rooms, he has to go through that again.
Yeah. Kia pulling off the Tower of Hera bomb jump. Very nicely done.
Yeah, first try, very well done. The thing that with that one, you gotta be careful. If you mess up, you fall all the way down. You gotta go through the whole thing again. So, well done for Kia being able to get that on his first shot.
And if you haven't hit the crystal switches correctly, you actually have to either mirror out or go down to the basement and hit the crystal switch. Which, if you don't have the key at that point, means you're either mirroring out or saving and quitting.
Yeah, and luckily they do have the mirrors, so that wouldn't be terrible.
Yes. I speak from experience on the last part.
Oh man,
I tried the bomb jump one time. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm never doing that again. All right, undaunted, fylion going back to this room. He's going to show this eye door what for.
Maybe.
he was until he got bunnied into whatever that was.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell. It was so quick. I didn't see exactly what his what the Dark Maple Queen's bunny form is.
So Kia taking his Cane of Samaria off of Troll Dorm.
And
Because-
most likely, go ahead.
Because again, of course, he would have that.
Yes, Trolldorm did. And so he will be following Phylion's steps, which we know definitely was a very good decision. The only thing they really got was the hook shot. But still, very nice pickup.
Yeah. So we are flippers away from being able to do Swamp Palace.
Indeed.
We are the bow away from being able to do Palace of Darkness. We are the flippers away from being able to do Ice Palace. And we are the flute away from being able to do Misery Mire, and the ice rod away from being able to finish Turtle Rock. So
And a possible another medallion.
right, and a possible another medallion. So, like, every dungeon out there has, like, one item we need before we can complete it, and it's almost always a different item.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, Eastern Palace, which might have an item, needs the bow, but as far as crystals, I think every dungeon is different for what the required item for it is. Except for Flippers, that doubles up.
Yep. Flippers doubles up, and Eastern Palace can either be the book or, at this point, the flute, since we have the mirror. So we find the flute.
Correct.
We can do both Misery Mire and Desert Palace. Fylion finding magic powder, which is going to open up the bat, and oh my goodness, if the bat has like something like the bow.
Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. And the nice thing about the powder is he'll be able to get some ferrets right before heading into Trinex if he happens to find the ice rod.
Right. I'm still not entirely sure what his plan is for the laser bridge room, considering he still has no way of protecting himself. He might say no to that at this point. I don't know. And he's going to save it.
Does.
He's bailing.
Yeah, you can't really blame him.
No.
You haven't found the ice rod yet. You haven't found an invincibility. You don't know if it's going to be there. Take off before you take any more time diving in.
Agreed. Unfortunately for him, that was a lot of time invested into that. Well, I don't know. We don't know. He got the magic powder, and if that bat cave has something very useful in it, oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy. But it looks like they are going to head to Pod first. They've done everything else in Eastern, so only besides the one item left on the Armos Knights. So they will be doing Pod, which, again, this has 5 possible items in it. And the bow can be in almost every single chest, but of course, King Helmosaur, as well as 2 on the right. So not a bad idea.
Ever since the logic change in version 27, the bow is more accessible inside of Palace of Darkness. So I like this play a lot.
I agree. All right, so do you think Kia makes the same decision, finishes up Dark Death Mountain, and then goes into Turtle Rock?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to forget everything that's not inside Turtle Rock right now and just base it off of what Kia's like knowledge is, whatnot. And I said it last time, so I would say it again. Oh, he's just going straight in.
Going straight in.
Oh, wow. He's not even checking the Hookshot Cave first. I know I would have at least done that, but
yeah,
outside of that, I think I would have come in here and just like gone as far in as I thought I could have. So
yeah, really interesting decision to at least not check Hookshot Cave. But again, I really can't blame him. I mean, this is something that I would have done as well. You're up here, you can get in. So many times Turtle Rock has the items that you need. So it looks like they both will be double dipping Turtle Rock. We'll find out later if that is required or not, which at this point we know is not.
Well, I mean, again, we don't, only because we don't know what that powder leads to.
Correct.
If that powder leads to, say, again, like the bow or, you know, something important, like, oh my goodness, if that powder led to the ice rod, like...
Oh my goodness.
That would just be like, why? Why did you do that to us, game?
But if it does, they made the absolute correct call going into Turtle Rock when they did.
Well,
so...
No, even if it doesn't pay off, I think they're making the correct call by coming in here. I think
definitely.
Fylion is just unfortunate in that he took that death about halfway through this place and had to go all the way back through. That obviously cost him a decent chunk of time here. But Kia's going into this place with only green mail. So,
I was just about to point that out as well.
I mean, that's, again, probably the big reason I would have gone to Hookshot Cave first, was to find anything that would have kept me alive in here slightly longer.
Or clear it.
Yeah, or clear it, right.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And we know that blue mail is not too far away from him. So, not we know that's not the right decision to at least not check things. We also know that it won't help him clear the place. So,
Right.
it's just 50-50. He's going to save time by not doubling back. But if he takes a death because he's far more vulnerable.
Yeah. But no, these chain chomps will just absolutely crush him.
I believe it's 6 hearts in Greenmel, which is the second most damage in the game behind Ganon himself on a hug.
Yes.
So we gotta be very careful.
Yeah, when a basic a small round little enemy like that is quite literally the second most damaging thing in the game, that's a thing to be afraid of.
Yeah. I've always it makes me laugh that they're in this game at all, like in the first place.
But no, you are correct on that.
Oh, and fylion accidentally mirroring out of the dungeon.
I was really curious as to why he had mirrored from where he was. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting routing decision. And then, I was like, oh, yeah, probably wasn't intentional. Whoops.
Yeah, you see the swipes. He was definitely not happy about that decision there. As we get is that a green slug? What is that?
I don't know what that was, but it was hilarious.
That is amazing. I have never seen Cat Boo's bunny form, so that was amazing.
I have zero idea of what in the world that's supposed to be, but that's hilarious, whatever it is.
Oh, that was great. All right, so have yet to find too much in Pod, and we still have not found much. Just picking up again, tons of keys in this place in chest,
Always.
So lots of keys.
Lots.
So we need to find all those first.
Always. Does fylion have the big key? I didn't see if he picked it up.
I think I do remember seeing it. I'm not for sure. I thought he mirrored again for a second. I was like, oh my goodness. But he has bombs out, so definitely didn't do that.
Right. Oh, there's an unfortunate map find. I mean, I guess it was going to happen eventually, but, still.
Yeah.
And bombs? Okay, he clearly has the big key because he's going in that direction, so... Oh, the fire!
Oh, man, that was close.
Lucky he found the blue mail. No, he doesn't have the big key!
Oh, man.
Oh,
that's like tilt by fylion there, forgetting that he
was attempting to death warp in blue mail. There we go.
It takes a little bit extra time, and that is all that fylion can check now. So we do know that Pod is bow locked since we did not find the bow.
That is correct.
And we didn't find anything of value in there, so this may not have been... This is not a double dip dungeon. That is really bad news for fylion. I'm sure Kia might do a similar thing, though. We'll see, though. That powder, we'll have to see where that powder leads.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for that powder to lead to something. Like something amazing.
Oh, man. If it's the bow, fylin's going to be even more tilted after the few minor little mistakes he made in that dungeon. He's going to be even more tilted.
Absolutely. I gotta be honest, so in the room with the big chest and Turtle Rock, I've never understood the point of having that little question mark block there, considering you can just, hook shot over it.
Yeah, I've never understood that either, because the game's already taught you how to use the Cane of Samaria to create the platform. It's not like it's trying to tell you, hey, make sure you use your platform to get across this. And you have the hook shot at this point in the vanilla. I don't know.
Kia's going into the laser room. I mean, he's
yes,
going down here, but he's going towards the laser room. That's interesting. I am not aware. Can you do the laser skip without the boots?
I don't know. fylion, meanwhile, checked Pyramid. It was just 20 rupees, and we'll be heading to Catfish. Good routing decision on his part. You never know when you're going to make it back up this way. And they will also check Zora, which they have not done yet.
Absolutely. And he's going to find the... I think there was a heart container was the only thing of actual note inside of Waterfall Cave, which he can't check because he doesn't have the flippers. And he'll go check Zora and get his life lesson.
And to answer your question, you can do the laser skips without boot. It's just a little bit scarier.
Yeah, apparently it's... Oh! I was about to say, apparently it's much easier than I thought it was.
And if he had set up the safety death, I would have bet he would keep going, but he did not, so he's out. Oh man, that's unfortunate for him. And Catfish just having 20 rupees as well.
Yeah, Kia heading out. He's going to... Where is he going now? Oh, he's gonna do Dark Side Death Mountain from this direction, which from where he was makes sense because he literally would have had to walk out of Turtle Rock backwards. So.
Yes. Where he died, that made it that way, and maybe that's why he didn't set up the death warp, and hoping they wouldn't have to worry about that. But he did, or excuse me, the safety door if you die. And hindsight probably should have taken that, especially with 3 hearts and green mail.
To be fair, walking across that bridge with that red beetle there is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. So he may have just said, you know what, I'm not going to even bother chancing walking down there. I'm just going to try it and see how far I can get.
Yeah, is a fair point. Maybe that's what he was thinking the whole time. So it wasn't too much of a frustration. A little frustrated, but not terrible. And they will be heading to get their blue mail out of Hookshot Cave here in a moment.
Yep. So Kia actually having a little bit more life than fylion.
I'm trying to think where that might have happened. They've had pretty similar locations checked at this point. Kia did check the hammer pegs where there was a full heart, I believe is what it was. Yeah. So that could be one of the hearts.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if the other one was inside Thieves Town.
Well, he's got 3 now.
Yeah. I'm betting Phylion's going to go check Thieves Town now.
Yeah, now that he's got the hammer, he'll be able to full clear it. And with Blue Mail, he shouldn't have any struggles. I mean, Blind is it's the only boss in the entire game that is scripted if you can do it right.
Yep.
Everything else is not, and you can nail Blind, and it's insane to watch. It is one of the most fun things to watch when somebody that knows how to do it perfectly does it. It's just it's a sight to see.
Absolutely. No, Phylion's actually going to go finish Skull Woods with that fire rod. Might as well.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, another item plus the green pendant, so 2 items.
Kia also going back this direction. Oh my gosh, is he going to do the same thing?
Maybe, and neither has checked the powder yet, so I'm really hoping to see that soon. I want to see what it is, but it looks like they are both going straight to Skull Woods.
Interesting. It is the green pendant, so I mean, it completely makes sense to want to finish it. Plus, both runners know that there is one item hidden behind this fire rod, whether it be in that chest they just walked past on Mothula or in the big key chest. We won't find out until someone... Oh, the Wallmaster.
Oh, man. The worst, that's not quite the worst. The worst is when you're about to fall into Mothula and he snags you as you're falling. That's the worst.
I completely wait for that hand to drop in that room before I jump down that hole.
Yep.
I do not care how long it's going to be. I'm just going to sit there and wait for that shadow to show up because I have had that happen before and I'm like, nope. Oh wow.
That was close. That is the worst thing to have happen.
Fylion dodging those hands like crazy.
What is that?
I have no idea.
It's a Dark Swag Duck.
It's Dark Swag Duck.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
That is amazing. Fylion killing every enemy, hoping to get a full magic refill, I'm assuming. Oh, yeah. And he gets a nice early Wallmaster drop, so he's able to drop down right away.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but Kia had a different way of dodging the Wallmaster, in so much as basically killing it right before it landed on top of him.
Now, was that intentional, or was that an accident? I've done that on accident many times.
He was doing a spin attack, I'm assuming, around the Gibdos, and the hand just happened to drop right on top of him and die, so...
Very nice Mothula fight for Fylion.
Oh, it's the big key! Okay, so we still have the chest inside here to check. Before
That's so rude.
We go back
That's
to the...
so rude.
I know. So, they got one more chest to check before going for that big one.
Yeah, and it's just getting the big key there. It's like, Really? I have to go check this chest, and he's not going to. Okay.
Going to. That's interesting.
All right, let's see if Kia does the same thing after having another nice multi fight. Both of them did really well, making pretty quick work with a little bit of fire rod shots and that tempered sword.
Oh, he's going back. He just realized.
Oh, he did.
He's probably going through it in his mind, like, I'm gonna open this up in the, oh, I forgot that other chest there.
And this is a great idea, because if it does have the item, then it would have been really bad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if not, well, then it sucks, but you will know.
The worst thing would have been to open up that big chest and have, like, a key inside of it. And then you're sitting there like, why is there a key in here? I have another item of the, oh, right.
It's the flute! Oh, that is so nice that he went back for that.
Oh, and they both get it at the same time.
Oh, man, that is so good that he went back. The flute. That opens up Misery Mire now. We have full access to Misery Mire.
And Desert Palace.
Maybe Misery Mire. Sorry, I forgot the medallion. But yes, right. Desert Palace as well.
Except Desert Palace could be boots locked, too.
Oh, yes, you're right.
So we have access to places. We're not entirely sure we can do much with that access.
Yeah, but that does open up much quicker travel for things, which is nice. And then also does open up the access to both Mire and Desert Palace. So we do know that at this point we don't need the book. It still might be required.
Here's what I'm thinking. Desert Palace is going to have the ice rod on the bonk lamp, and Lamolus is going to drop the bow, and like King Helmasaur is going to have the boots.
No, Armos Knights has the boots.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Just trying to be a little nicer there.
I'm not very nice. Oh, Kia is going to go finish up Thieves Town before activating the flute. And not a bad decision. I mean, I will see if fylion heads into Thieves Town right after.
You know, I mean, here's the thing. He's not going to spend a ton of time doing this. If this is a pedestal seed, which we have not confirmed yet, obviously, if it is, he's saved a ton of time by doing this now. And if it isn't, he really hasn't lost too much time, assuming he walks in here and just beats the living pants of the blind.
Correct. And when this is like the best time to do it, because when else are you going to be next to Thieves Town at this close to Thieves Town?
And finally, I'm actually saying no, he's not going to go finish Thieves Town. Oh wait, he's going to check Sick Kid here. Maybe
we'll see if he do that heads back though.
Yeah, I figured he was leaving, but with doing this, it tells me he might just go back in the Thieves Town now.
All right, Kia does finish up blind, not bad, and fylion is... they have not done the hammer... red mail off of blind.
Red mail for the red pendant.
Yeah, look at that.
Makes sense. Right, fylion hasn't actually done the peg cave, so he's going to go grab his full heart container from that. All right, so what do we actually need for go mode? Let's actually think about this for a moment. We already have access to Desert Palace, so we don't actually need the book anymore. We need the bow, we need the ice rod.
And we need flippers.
We need flippers. Unknown is the boots. And then obviously a possible either Ether or Bombos medallion.
And with those words, you just reminded me, the tablet, so book might be required.
Well, I'm just saying, like, looking at it...
for sure need, yes.
Right. Looking at it, like, if everything was out, like, in a row right now, what would we need to find to beat everything? Obviously, the book might be required if, the book is hiding the bow for reasons that would make me cry. Oh, here we go, powder.
Yeah, here we go. And Kia's not doing it.
No, he's not. Let's see what that powder holds, and it's... the ice rod!
Oh my gosh! So Turtle Rock was required double
dip. Oh, look at the slashes!
Oh
that's a required double dip into... oh my gosh!
What is that? What is this?
In the actual world is that? I said that earlier. I was kidding, game.
You called it. Totally called it. So
I was joking. How lucky is it that these runners went in there to do that?
That is amazing, but at this point, the longer that Kia takes to go back there, he has nothing else to do in Kakariko or Village of Outcasts. He may not go back to Powder for some time now. That is insane. I cannot believe that had the ice rod. You called it. You totally called it. That is crazy.
I don't feel good about calling that at all. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Wow. That is harsh. Okay, so Bombos...
we do need Bombos.
So Bombos is the battalion to get into Meyer, so we can't get into there yet.
Oh my goodness, which is good for Kia. We need him to go get... I mean, I guess not really, because it is just the ice rod. We need him to go back for that, though. That is insane.
So... See, checkerboard Dave answer. It's the boots!
The boots!
We got the boots!
Oh my goodness.
There's a ball! What?
Oh my gosh!
What is this? Like, this sudden influx of amazing items?
I mean, it makes sense. We've gone so long without getting items. It makes sense to be getting a ton all of a sudden.
It's true. Okay, so, calming down for a second here, that we have to realize one very, very now unfortunate thing. We now have the ability to defeat all the pendant dungeons.
Yes, we do.
All Kia needs to do is go defeat Eastern Palace and he can unlock the pedestal. And we don't know what's in the pedestal. Kia actually stealing a key.
Interesting. Huh.
He ran down there. Okay, I saw that double take. He ran down there to, like, just zoom right back up. It's like, oh, hey, that's a thing.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah.
It looks like fyLion's gonna go get their boots right here.
You know what? I don't think Kia was stealing a key. I think I know what happened. I think he walked in there to beat the place. He's like, oh, right, I need the big key.
Oh, yes. And fylion did not have the boots, which he's going to be very happy to find them right here. A little frustrated he didn't go first, and he just did a little double take.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like every time you enter this place, you immediately plan to leave because you expect it to be like a big red or, you know, an arrow upgrade or something like that. And then it's like, oh, hey, that's a thing I need. So,
and it is required because
so Desert was
boot locked.
So Desert was boot locked and Boost was literally next to Desert. So, you know, that's fun.
Oh my goodness. And there's the big key.
There it is. So we still have one item inside here. So Kia's going to go check the normal big key chest. It's a map.
All right. So the big chest and land mullahs that could both have the item or the compass.
Yeah. Checking the big chest here is always great. The greatest thing about the way he came in here is the fact that he can use the mirror to teleport out to that exit and be right next to where the boss area is.
Yeah, they both have that set up, and that is such a nice setup when you have the mirror.
Absolutely.
Oh, this area! Oh my gosh!
Wait a minute. That means all we need now is Bombos.
Yes.
And we'll be in go mode.
And Bombos could be pretty much anywhere at this point.
Bombos could. And with the addition of having the ice rod now, the only places Bombos cannot be is inside Ganon's tower and inside Misery Mire. Other than that, Bombos could be any other place.
Oh my, and that opens up the seed like crazy.
It does.
Now, okay, so you finish up Desert Palace. You get that crystal, because it is a crystal. Where do you go?
Oh my gosh.
So many places now.
Okay, well, if I'm fylion and I have the ice rod, I'm not going back up to definitely not going to go back up to Eternal Rock, but I would think like Swamp. It's got 5 items in it. Although, as much as you don't want to, because Swamp is, you know, really, really fast in go mode. And so is Ice Palace. I don't... You know, number one, I'd probably go back to Pod and finish it, because I'm trying to think of what the heck to do right now.
Yep, start finishing up dungeons that you can... I mean, you can finish up everything that we have access to.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally finish everything but Mire, which you can't even get into.
Right. The moment we can access that. Yeah, since Palace of Darkness was bow-locked as far as at least one item, if not multiples.
Yeah.
And the big key was locked behind that, too. which is unfortunate because that means you may have to go check that big key chest.
Yeah, and Kia will not have to make that double dip into the back maze area because they have not been in the pod yet, so they'll be able to probably go right and get that key before heading down that way. So we'll see where Kia heads. This is going to be important.
Palace
They
of
need
Darkness.
to
He's
pod.
going to Palace of Darkness. You know what? He's gonna. I will bet he will do Palace of Darkness and then go finish Eastern Palace real quick. He already has 2 pendants. He might as well finish the other one. Not to mention that he has the green pendant, which he can turn in right now too.
That's a very good point. This is a great play. I like it. And you know what? We might see fylion do the same thing for very similar reasons. There's still an item on the Armos Knights.
Yep. Yeah, there's an item on the Armos Knights. We can turn in the green pendant. Palace of Darkness probably is the better play right now as far as finishing it up. You got to go there anyway. There's not really a better time than to turn in the green pendant. So might as well do it now.
I agree.
Let's see.
Oh,
single rupee. Oh, it's like the insult of insults. Give me a green pendant for a single green rupee.
Oh, man. At least it was green.
Yeah.
Oh, that is an insult for sure.
Very much so.
Oh, Kia.
Kia losing Kiki.
Oh, man. That is one of the most shameful things to have happen. Just
Agreed.
Never want to lose Kiki.
Poor Kiki. That poor extortionist little monkey.
Yeah, I know, right? He is the best extortionist. Oh, here, let me hop up on this and open this for you.
Just 110
rupees.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you take any damage, it's an extra 10, so...
Yep.
All right, so Kia indeed making that play into Pod as we figured that's what he was doing, and we'll be able to see what the rest of Pod has to hold for us as fylion heads. Looks like they might be doing the same thing.
Yep. As we said, they have the green pendant right now, so this is really a decently good play. Unfortunately well, it's not really unfortunately for Kia, but he actually has to do the whole thing, whereas Philion's already cleared most of Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, at this point, fylion will be able to go through it quicker.
Yeah.
But the issue lies where if there is something on that big chest, fylion will have made extra dives into there, and especially since he mirrored earlier, that's like almost 3 times to the back of Pod.
Absolutely. But again, the big advantage he has right now is that he has that ice rod.
Indeed. That's like I said earlier, that who knows how long Key is going to be until he heads back towards the powder. He has no reason to go to Kakariko except for that powder at this point.
Absolutely. So yeah, we are looking for bombos and bombos only, and fylion bouncing into Sahashirila's hut there.
Yeah, I placed the mirror location just a little bit off, and there is the big key. So, and I do believe that there is one item left in Pod, which it would be either in the big chest or on the Armos Knights.
Yep.
And somebody just asked in chat, Surge, Lumberjack Cave was checked. It was just 20 rupees. That's definitely something that they never look twice at.
I don't think we've ever actually checked Bumper Cave, have we?
Yes, we did. Both runners have checked. I want to say it was 20 rupees as well.
Gotcha,
might have been 3 bombs. Or it was very insignificant. I've already kind of forgot what it was because it's such an insignificant item.
Right. You know, that's true. You know, just thinking about that now with the boots and everything, we've got the King's Tomb, we've got the Blanc Rock Sonic Sanctuary to check. Like, we've got a decent amount of places that this, Bombos could still be.
Yeah. One place that it will not be is the Pyramid Fairy, since Meyer is one of the 5-6 dungeons.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes, I was going through that. Completely forgot the Pyramid Fairy even existed. We haven't actually done any of the red crystals yet.
No, we have not, because Swamp, we just barely got access by getting the flippers, and then, which we needed the flute well before to be able to get, so, yeah. So, barely got access to both of those dungeons.
So, something worth mentioning, we have not found silver arrows yet.
No, we have not.
And that could either lead to some very interesting Ganon fights, or could be found, obviously, any place.
Ooh, so fylion not going to the big chest first There is definitely an item on there. I just saw him check his map or his menu, and he's got all the dungeon items. So that is an interesting decision. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could actually maybe not too terrible. Go kill Helmasaur, get it taken care of, head right back in afterwards. If this is Bombos, this is a great idea.
I guess that's true. I mean, I guess you're really not losing a lot of time, considering when you go to the big chest, you're just gonna mirror out and start over anyway. So
yeah,
you know, if you complete the dungeon here and then have to go back in, you've got the same time spent as if you went to the chest, mirrored out, went back in. So
yep. No, that I actually now that we've thought about it and talked about it, I think this is actually definitely the right play. Yeah. Get Helmasaur taken care of. You have to head back in there, and like you said, you're mirroring out anyways, especially since that's all he has to do.
Meanwhile, I know obviously Kia's doing his routing this way because he hasn't been in here yet, so his route also makes sense when you consider it that way. Let's see what we've got.
Oh, the butter! Gold sword. All right. Wow.
Okay, then.
And this is something that most likely fylion will be heading in for. I can't imagine him leaving that item in the dungeon, that's never something you want to do. Because if it is the important item, you're in trouble.
No, right. As we said earlier, the gold sword isn't as an important upgrade as the tempered sword, but I don't really see a lot of players saying, you know what, I don't really want that silly thing.
Yeah, especially since they don't have silvers yet. It will just make everything that much easier.
Absolutely. It basically guarantees that you one-cycle cannon on every phase. It doesn't make the silverless fight portion of it any faster, but getting there is, and part of the that was nothing. Part of the quote-unquote difficulty of the Ganon fight is if you let that fight go on for a much longer time than you need to.
Yes. Yeah, and fylion did have a very nice Helmasaur fight. Doesn't have silver, so it's not as easy to finish him off, but a few spins with the tempered sword took care of business, and heading right back in. Okay. I thought for a second they weren't going back in.
That menuing quickly, I'm like, Now, obviously, again, we know that the item's not required and whatnot, but, you know, the idea that you leave something behind like that is just frightening.
Yes, very frightening. I hate it. I am all about full clearing. If you can clear everything, take care of it. I hate it. I hate not full clearing.
Absolutely. So the big question I'm going to have is whether if Kia decides to jump into Eastern Palace right after this or not.
Yeah, you know, I imagine both of them will. There's an item on the Armos. There's an item still on the Armos Knights. It's not like you're going just for the pendant.
Yeah.
And then you have that double added benefit of the pendant, which Kia has all the other two, and fylion does not.
I mean, we may see a blind pendant pull or a Master Sword pedestal pull, so who knows?
That would be amazing. What if it's the book?
If it's the book, I'm just going to cry.
That's one of my favorite, and you don't even get to see the message. It's what you read after in the credits. Talks about it being a paradox. So I love it.
I mean, you can still read the message afterwards, right?
I believe so, yeah. Actually, no, I don't know. I've never tried.
I've actually not had the book inside the pedestal, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I've never actually had it either. I've seen it on some seeds where in the credits it says what it is.
fylion is not doing Eastern Palace. He's going to Ice Palace instead. Interesting. I like this. I like Ice Palace more than a few people do, but I think this is a good check, honestly, because if Kia is doing it, he's going to go get his third pendant.
You know, I think this makes more sense for Kia since they do have the Thieves Town pendant as well.
Absolutely.
So I don't blame him for doing this, and I don't blame fylion for not, since they don't have that pendant.
Right, exactly. Like, he knows Armos has one item on it, but it's one item. I mean, what's the chances it could possibly be Bombos?
Yeah.
You know, it's as good a chance as anything else, I guess. But I like the Ice Palace play because lately I've just been finding a lot inside Ice Palace, so let's see here.
We'll have to see what's in Ice Palace. Of course, if Bombos is in here, this is we'll know it was the right play, but we'll, only time will tell. And somebody in chat did mention what it says. It says, "This is a paradox." So thank you for mentioning that. I think your name was King. Can't quite read it.
Nice.
Now let's just say this: Armos Knights has silvers and pedestals not required. That would give Kia a massive advantage going into that final phase of Ganon.
Yes, it would. If he can, makes that stop to the Bat Cave anytime soon.
True. You might need that advantage.
Right. Yeah, that advantage might be great, but if he's sitting around looking for the ice rod for like the next, half hour, that's going to be slightly unfortunate, so.
Indeed.
It is unfortunate that at the best time he had to check the powder, the Bat Cave, he did not, so we will see.
Yeah.
My guess is that he's either going to hit up Swamp Palace or Ice Palace, just like fylion did. I'm going to guess it's Ice Palace.
Yeah, I could see them going Ice Palace, Swamp before checking that kind of stuff, and even doing a blind pedestal pull. Is especially for fylion, he only needs the bombos. Kia still does not know where that ice rod is, so he's looking for 2 items.
Yes, he is. Now, fylion had some trouble with the bomb jump, but got it relatively quickly. Unfortunately for Kia, the Armos Knights only had 10 arrows on them, so. And not even plus 10 arrows, it was just 10 arrows.
Yeah. That's always frustrating, but will we see a blind pull? Nope. Oh, he's going straight to Swamp.
He is going straight to Swamp. All right, guys. Well, Twitch, while we set up a lot of this, I just want to give a shout out to our runners here, and if you're liking what you're seeing, I'd invite you to give these runners a follow. I know they'd appreciate it a lot, and they'd probably do a ton of randomizers on their own streams. I don't know what else they stream, but they're putting on a show for us today, so just click that follow button if you would.
Yeah, definitely give them a follow. They've been putting on a great show for us. And Kia was playing Guitar Hero earlier, so if you like that, we saw him doing that warming up for the race. So give them both a follow. They've been, this is a big race for them. This is the winner go home race.
All right, so I haven't seen really anything out of Ice Palace yet.
Yeah, nothing yet. Just dungeon items, and you just got the big key there and keys.
So Kia doing Swamp. I was having a hard time figuring out which one of these 2 I would have done, because like Ice Palace has 3 items in it, and one of them's a Green Rupee.
Oh man.
But I was just about, the reason I'm laughing is because I was just about to say that Ice Palace always seems to have something important in it the moment that Green Rupee pops up. Like, well, I mean, except in that instance. But
except for when it doesn't.
Right, exactly.
Oh, the cape, which it does open up the logic for Laser Bridge now.
It does. So we could see bombos on the Laser Bridge.
And that is, hey, you get Short upgrade.
Indeed.
All right, so let's think about the seed for a little bit here. Actually, no, let's wait. We're about to see some items from Kia. But, nice use of the powder, getting a fairy there before heading into Cold Stare. I believe we have not seen the double jelly room from fylion, but I think we've seen everything else, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the one location that he has not checked. It is pretty out of the way, so I don't blame him. He's hoping he can get the last item off of Cold Stare. But I think it might be a key. I'm gonna guess it's a key.
Yeah, I don't know why I seem to get a lot of keys off of Cold Stare, but I do.
I think that's it's more common to see a key than an item off of Cold Stare.
We did find all 3 items. We had.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Good chat. Love you guys.
That's right. Yeah, I even pointed them out. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the cape regardless. A little bit of safety there, so I would never be upset to find the cape.
Yeah.
Especially in a crystal dungeon, you need to clear anyway. So.
I definitely agree with that. And very nice fight for fylion on the Cold Stare. Got him cornered. and just able to wreck him with that butter sword. Well, meanwhile, Kia found the big key right before the big chest. That's like, you can't ask for a better big key location.
Yeah, you could ask for a better big chest item though. It was just the map.
Unfortunately, he still will have to clear to the left side. He's looking for 2 items, so I really, don't blame him for making the play going full left.
Absolutely. fylion actually hasn't checked the hobo yet. I mean, the flippers were somewhat new, so.
Yeah, and he never fake flippered while Kia did, so we do know that there is something, nothing of importance here.
Yeah, I forget this was. I forget exactly what this was, but it wasn't anything. Oh, right, arrow upgrade.
Really important item. The most important item.
Absolutely, you need to be able to carry as many arrows in your quiver as possible, I think.
Yeah, especially if they don't have the silvers. I mean, that's important.
Right. Yes, 100%, because you need to machine gun those wooden arrows at Ganon.
Yes, that's the only way to damage him.
Right, exactly. So, fylion going to the to Swamp Palace, it appears. So,
yeah, we'll be right behind Kia.
Yep, could even get a little bit of sync here, although Kia does need to head over to Ice Palace. Oh, a bee in a bottle.
That's our 3rd bottle.
It is.
And we've had a different item in each bottle. We had a green goo, we had empty, and we had a bee. And I do not believe it was the golden bee.
I don't think we've been able to tell yet.
Oh, yeah, believe you're right. You don't see it when you first pick it up. It's when you're in your menu.
Right, yeah. I heard, so one of the nice quality of life updates to V27 was the colorblind bottle little letter, which also includes a little cool little like star for gold B. Now,
yeah,
some people were saying before, well, they didn't have that information before. I'm like, well, you're correct. However, in the normal game, you never got a bee in a bottle. Like, you had to find that bee and capture it. And
yes.
So yeah, I don't mind them telling you that. Oh yeah, by the way, this bottle, this thing is gold. So that's cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and then it helps with the people that are colorblind. You always want to make everything as accessible and playable for everybody as possible.
Absolutely.
And you can't see what potion colors they might be, so you got a little R, B, or G for whatever potion it is, and then a plus sign for that golden bee. So it's a great addition for the game.
Absolutely.
Mushroom and Cane of Burna. So 2 fetch quests essentially, because this, now logically opens up Spike Cave. I guess the cape did that for fylion as well, but now Spike Cave is open as well as, of course, the Witch's Hut. Oh, Bombos!
There it is!
Bombos gonna be in Go mode. He will be in Go mode after this.
Oh my gosh, that's so unfortunate for Kia though.
That is bad news for Kia, because again, I just don't see him heading back to Kakarika for that powder check.
No,
especially now that he just got Mushroom and Burna. Uh-oh.
No, yeah, and that means he's probably going to go into Misery Mire looking for it.
Yeah. Oh, that is so bad for Kia. Oh man, we'll have to see what Kia decides, but they've got so many places to check for that Ice Rod still. It's another one. Again, it's an item that can be pretty much anywhere, and for him now it can be in Mire, and that's just going to put him on even a longer goose chase.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Well, who knows? If for some odd reason Kia decides to go to check that bat for, he's probably he's probably thinking, I got that internal rock. There's no way it's there.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe he's forgotten about it. I have not seen him use it to, turn any anti-fairies into fairies. Somebody did point out in chat that maybe this will make him think, hey, I've got fetch quests. Let me go check all of these right now before diving into Mire or something. So that's the only thing we can hope that this is what he decides. But I can't see him doing that first. We'll see what he does, though.
Here we go. He's going to Misery Mire.
Oh, no. Oh, this is bad.
The moment he had access to it, of course he was going to.
Yeah.
The only thing he can hope for here is that, there's, the cane, the blue cane. I missed that when Kia picked it up. Really, the only thing Kia can hope here right now is that fylion finds the big key in the last chest possibly that he checks.
Yeah, that fylion has to take just as long in Mire as Kia does.
Yep.
Because fylion will be able to go mode it. And folks, that is an official go mode for fylion. 1 hour and 29 minutes, and I think it was about 25 seconds. fylion entered go mode by picking up that Bombos tablet.
There it is. All right, so. And he also has, let me see, he's got to finish Swamp Palace here, and then he's got Misery Mire and Turtle Rock to do when he's done.
Yeah, and Turtle Rock is mostly done. I'm not sure what his key situation was, so I'm not sure if he'll have to do Laser Bridge for keys. I do not remember what it was when he left, but he's cleared Turtle Rock all the way, so he'll just be able to rush through it as fast as he can.
Yep, I think he may need to find a key on Laser Bridge. I'm not sure if he had one or not.
I believe that he's used all of them because they have checked. They were checking for items, so they went through everything. So I'd imagine that he'll be having to look for one on there. But I don't remember what his key situation was like when he left because that's not something I was thinking about at the time.
Right, exactly. We were all just like, "Oh, hey, powder." Who knew? Like, seriously, I swear this is probably true. The major reason that he is not going back to Kakariko to do that powder is, again, you found that powder in Turtle Rock. The chances that the game would force you to go in there to get the ice rod are so unbelievably low that, of course, it's the truth.
Yeah, especially through a fetch quest.
Yeah.
And you know, chat just pointed out again, this will shortly open up Fat Fairy chest. So even more item locations are opening up for Kia.
Yeah.
And, the worst thing that could happen is he finds the book. And it just opens up everything for him.
Absolutely.
It is really bad. I mean, so far so good in terms of key placement for Kia's sake. You will not have to worry about finally having a very quick mire. We'll have to see where that big key is. Still no big key. So at this point, finally we'll have to be doing everything that Kia is doing.
All right, so my favorite little glitch in this place is the ability to just shoot the fire rod through those little blocks there. It is a glitch exclusive to the version 1.0 Japanese version of the game. And if I understand it correctly, it's because when those blocks are moving, the game doesn't register them as being actually present. Or something like that.
Because you can. That's why you're able to use the mirror to make them disappear, as well as hookshot through them. Ooh, big key in its vanilla location.
Yeah.
All right. So unless fylion heads right after all this stuff, which he most likely won't, since he will not have the big key, he will be able to do a much quicker mire than Kia. And Kia definitely knows he has the powder. He just used it to get a fairy.
Yeah.
To answer Lagbot, PED was not checked, and so we do not know what it does, but it will not be anything that is required for the seed. And it looks like we are having some technical issues on fylion's side. We'll see if we can get that sorted out as soon as possible.
Indeed. This timer's running, though.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there.
There we go. Okay, then. Whatever. Maybe some controller issues.
Maybe, yeah. Dead battery or something. Because, yeah, everything looked like it was still moving. It was kind of weird. Yeah. But looks like we got it taken care of now.
Indeed. All right, so Kia's going to go check. Hey, it's another shield. So there would be our mirror shield.
Yeah, that would be mirror for fylion, which they will not be checking. I would be surprised if they get that item. And Kia might be getting the mirror shield. Depends on where their routing decisions are.
Yep. Kia heading into. I'm going to say it again, though. One thing, we do not have silver arrows yet. So At the moment, we are looking at a blue male, gold sword, silverless Ganon.
Yeah, that is true for fylion. Kia did get the red mail, and I can not remember where it was.
Oh my goodness, it was it blind?
Yes, it was blind. You are correct. That's exactly it. And somebody was asking if what happens with the crash. The runners are supposed to be recording the races to ensure that in case of a crash happens, they're able to have the evidence of how things went. And other people pointed out other things as well. It is on the runner to make sure that they have their equipment ready and backups ready to guarantee that the race was valid.
Right. I think the question was actually about like what happens if his game actually crashes, not his internet.
Yeah,
Like
that would be very bad.
Indeed.
All right, so Kia heads into Vitreous, and it looks like they're just going to do the spin strats with the gold sword.
I mean, very powerful.
Now, it's probably one of the faster ones. You've got plenty of help, and with red mail, it is pretty quick still, so not a bad idea to do that.
Yep. Obviously, the fastest Vitreous fight is the Silver Arrow fight, which is just... That is probably one of the more fun things in the game, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It is probably the fastest fight as well. It's insanely easy as well. It's crazy.
Yeah, when you can just sit there and machine gun those things off, it's really nice.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Alrighty, so Kia holding up his Misery Mire crystal nice and high for the declaration of victory. I wonder where he's going to go next. Based on my thought process, I can't see why he wouldn't just go to Ice Palace right now.
Yeah, I would check the mushroom first, since you just got that with the flute. It's really fast. But yeah, after that, I think you head to Ice Palace.
Exactly what he's doing. He's going to go check out that mushroom.
Which will not be what he wants.
No, it will
and it's going to be very bad news for Kia, because he's running down a rabbit hole that he needs to get out of.
Yep. Oh, it's Silvers!
Wow, okay, that's nice at least.
Yeah.
And fylion definitely will not be getting this unless he decides to fill up on some bottles and turn it in at the same time. I don't see it, though.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would grab a potion or two right before doing that, so who knows? Wait.
Oh, I can definitely see the potion.
Wait! Kia!
Oh, no, wrong way!
Go down! Oh.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, he can still check. He can still go that direction. I'm not sure where he's going.
He's doing a blind pull. I think he's doing a blind pull.
Blind pull of the pedestal. Okay.
Hopefully this leads him to Batcave since he's in the area. We know this is not going to be what he wants.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Oh! Oh, no.
I mean, we knew it wasn't going to be anything because we've seen the cape. We've seen everything but Book and Ethers, so